Welcome back, everybody. I'm here to go over phase two of this wonderful face swapping exercise. So hopefully you had fun messing around and face swapping some faces, and you picked one and then you exported it. So now we're going to make this a little presentable here with some vector tools and some type tools and throw it in a gallery. So like I'm just going to go up to this point where you're exporting it, right? So the first thing we're going to do is create this file and then follow this tutorial, which you're watching right now. So I'm going to go over to Photoshop. Like here's my example. You can see like I have this vector shapes. Just made it look like a motivational poster here. So we're just going to get to this point, we're going to start with File New. And then we're going to use Art and Illustration presets. We're going to use a postcard. All these settings should be good. RGB looks fine, 300. And then we're going to change the name to FaceSwap Gallery. And then maybe put your name in there. FaceSwap 2, FaceSwap something. I'm going to call this gallery. And then underscore GV for my initials. And then hit create. And then we're going to get that photo in here. So I'm going to go to my folder or file, place embedded, and I'm going to drag my wonderful creation. Oh, no, that's the original. Uh-oh. There it is. All right. And then hit the check mark. It should come in the right size. You might have to resize it. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use some vector tools, which are down here. And we're going to explore these way more when we use Adobe Illustrator. But we're going to use it, draw a vector shape, which means that it's built by a path, like that has a stroke. You could stroke the path or have and fill it the area inside. So it's based in geometry, right? So it's a vector. So meaning like if I draw a vector, for example, I draw a rectangle here. Oops, I'm going to zoom out a little first. With this vector, these are the vector tools down here. Draw a rectangle. What I'm doing is I did not really paint any pixels. It's presented to you in pixels because we're in Photoshop, like but the output is pixels. But how this is created is with 4 points and 4 paths, creating a shape, right? And what I could do to this is I can use this pen tool. I could draw my own shapes, or I could use the add anchor point tool, and I could even like add an anchor point on the side here. And then I could go down to these two selection tools and go to the direct selection tool, which selects like individual pieces. And then I could grab this and kind of like spin it around. Again, we're going to explore these way more in Adobe Illustrator. But that's kind of the basics here. What we're gonna do is just start by drawing a rectangle that is larger than the artboard, or like see it goes beyond the artboard space. And then what we're gonna do is we're going to draw another shape on top of this, right? So I'm gonna like not have this shape selected right now, and then go to subtract front shape. And then I'm going to go back to this shape here. And then what we're going to do is draw a shape on top here that's going to cut into this shape to create that frame. So you see like I have this one example here too. We've got a flower frame here. And this is just a rectangle because they're going for the motivational, whatever kind of vibe you're going for. So like I like Star Trek. So when I think of this Star Trek, I think of like boats maybe or something. So I'm going to go to my custom shape tool, and then I'm going to go to maybe this sailboat. Yeah, sailboats speak to me for Star Trek. And see how like there's a minus sign on my little plus sign. So like I have up here I said instead of don't create a new layer, right? I want you to subtract from front shape. And so now when I draw my sailboat, I'm going to hold shift. Oh yeah, that's going to look great. That sailboat becomes the frame. And it currently it's filled with black, but it's actually cutting into the shape. But it has a white stroke, so we're going to get rid of that white stroke. Something that's more Star Trek-y, like not green, maybe like um, yellow. Not that yellow though. Yes, yes, yes. There we go. All right, so that's perfect. Although I do say like I'd like to see Princess Leia's face a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this selection tool, this direct selection tool here, and I'm going to click on this line, and then I'm going to, oop, no, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to move the whole thing. I want to click off and then click on this line. See how like now only this, see how like everything else was selected and these went from blue to white. Now I could click on just this line and kind of drag it out. So, and do I want to change this? Yes, I do. Oh, there we go. Now we could see Princess Leia and Anakin Skywalker. Uh, Now this is going to look a little weird. Because I'm trying to like, the sailboat would kind of like, it looks like there's some wind, but I'm going to control Z both of those. This kind of looks like wind, but that doesn't. Perfection here. So now I just need some sort of text in here. So like, what should I say? Let's give it like a quote from maybe Captain Picard here. So let's go to Well, I don't want to see if I go to my type tool right now, it's gonna see like I got this weird circle around my type tool. It wants me to like type inside this shape, right? So like I need to go back to my move tool and I need to select a different layer. Right, so now I don't have a vector layer selected. I'm gonna go to my type tool and then I'm gonna type uh, starboard bound, right? Starboard, and then I'm gonna hit enter and then bound. I think that's a good quote from one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Okay, I put quotes in there. You can't see it right now because it's behind there. So I'm just going to take this layer and just whoop, slide it right above. Ooh, that's really big. And I don't like that typeface or color either. So I'm going to select all this type with my type tool. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to change the color. We're going to use that same yellow. I'm going to unify the design, right? That's not, it's like, that's not the yellow. That's not the yellow. There it is. Okay. And then again, I'm going to go back to my type tool. Oh, wait, no, I'm already in here. Oopsies. Hit OK. And we're going to select all this, Control A to select all the text here. And then we're going to make this a little smaller for now so we can kind of see it all. And I can change that. Ooh, that's actually not that bad of a size. You know, I'm going to click on this and then just hit the up key to make this a little bit bigger. And then I don't want this weird typeface though. What's something that's very, reminds me of Star Wars. Let's see here. What would Captain Kirk do? Okay, freshman. There we go. We're freshmen here. So I'm going to that looks great. And then I gotta have I would put this like quote or something here. And then I could go and add another type layer by clicking the type tool again and then just clicking somewhere. And then this quote is maybe from what did I say? Captain Picard. I think he runs the Millennium Falcon there. Okay, all right. So that and then I want this to be a different typeface. So I'm gonna double click to select it and then change this to like Times New Roman. Italic. Yeah, that is epic, right? And then I hit the check mark. And then if I want to change the size on these, I'm not going to like go here, select them, and then go change the size here or on the panel here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the layer, right? And then hit Control T. This allows me to kind of change the type to fit the size that I need, right? And then this is just so beautiful. Oh my gosh. All right, so this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to save my work. Oh my gosh. Control. I didn't even save once yet. Control S. And then this is in my folder. And save wash. Yes, that's the gallery one. Yeah, I want to save it. And then we're going to export it. So go File, Export, Quick Export. If yours says PNG right now, I'm going to not do this. I need to go to my Preferences, hit Control K, or go to Edit, Preferences, and we're going to go to Export, and then you want to change this to JPEG, right? And then you just go export to JPEG. And then one other thing here, if you want to make this like kind of nice and clean like I did here, I was using guides. So like the way I did this is like from the rulers, again, if you don't see the rulers are under View, Show Rulers, Show Guides, and all that kind of stuff here. But I would hit Control R, and then I can make sure this is inches by right-clicking the ruler itself and changing it to inches. And then if I'm trying to like, I wanted to make this is a 4x6, so I wanted a 1/4 inch border here, right? When I draw my inside shape, right? So you see I have like guides defining that. So like I didn't just drag this over and like try to look really close and like, oh my God, am I gonna get it? Like, no, I did not do that. What I did, if I want to guide in a very specific spot, I went to View, Guides, New Guide, and then I put in the exact spot. So like I put a guide in at, this is 0.4 inches, so I needed one at 0.25. And that was a vertical one at 0.25, and then I also needed a horizontal one at 0.25, and then 0.25 less than 4 inches, so this was 3.75, and I made my guides, right? So like watch if I put one at like 2 inches of vertical, 2 inches of vertical guide, you see like it drops it perfectly in the middle there for me. And then I was able, then these, whenever I draw a shape now, you can see like if I'm drawing a rectangle, this will kind of like snap to that space, like, and then I could helps you like kind of snap to these guides to draw very precise shapes. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing all of your wonderful creations, and have a wonderful day.